welcome to a performance from Confident Deceptions by Jason Ladanye. This was his first book released to the Magic community back in 2013. It's been out of print for a while, but it's available once again at Vanishing Ink. And I'd like to show you the last routine in the book. And the name of the routine is actually The Best for Last. And I do think it is one of the best routines in the book, so I think it's an appropriate title for the routine. I also think that it is a perfect name for the theme that we're going with here. So if you were here, you could give the deck a cut. And basically what I want to do, well, first of all, I'll show you that all the cards are completely shuffled. They're not in a prearranged order. They're not all together. Let me take a little look. Okay. And what I want to try to demonstrate for you is what it's like to find the various hands of poker in a deck of cards. So what it's like to find each of the different rankings. We're going to pretend that we're doing this in the terms of straight poker, which means deuces are not wild in this. So if you play where deuces are wild, we won't be doing that here, which means I have no need for the ability to be able to cut right to a deuce for this demonstration. So just don't even worry about that. I'm going to play this completely straight. We're going to act as if this is a straight poker game, and I'm going to take you through the rankings from worst to best, okay? The worst poker hand you can have is nothing, but on top of that, in case you have nothing, you just have to go for the highest card. And if you're going to go for the highest card, you might as well start with an ace, which is not a bad card to start with. If you do have an ace and you know somebody's got an ace, then the next step would be to try to find a pair, like a pair of fives. Two cards that are the same value is what we call a pair. And the pairs are pretty hard to come by, but once you have them, they are in play. Of course, if you see somebody with a pair, you've got to try to one-up it, and the next best thing would be two pairs, like these pairs, of fours and sixes, something like that. Not a bad hand to have if you're going to have some cards in your hand. You know, you have high card, a pair, you have two pair. Next up on the chain would be to attempt to find three of a kind. That's a 1 out of 50 chance of finding a three of a kind. So, you know, what's the point? Might as well not take that risk. Go ahead and find them. So far, this has all been pretty easy. Honestly, so far, all this is done. Whenever I spread the cards out to show you they were mixed, I was just looking for these pairs. Even in a shuffled deck of cards, you're bound to find pairs and two pairs and three of a kind together. That's pretty easy stuff. That's not too difficult. It starts to get more difficult with the next one. The next one is called a straight. And a straight means a series of values that are all sequential in order. These are much more difficult to come by. They take a lot more work to try to find, and usually we have to kind of find them in unique ways. Like, for instance, we may have a 2 and a 5 there, and if we have a 2 and a 5 there, I can sometimes find 3 and a 6 there, which means if you'll notice, I have a 2, 3, 5, and 6. I'm just missing a 4. If I cut exactly 25 cards down, I should be able to get a 4. This gives us a straight, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now, of course, finding a straight is just half the battle. The other half of the battle is actually putting it into my hand. And this is something I do all the time if I'm ever going to cheat, if I ever did cheat. And it's called shuffle stacking. And that is just the process of taking a group of cards and in just a series of shuffles, stacking them in the exact precise order that I need them in. This is not something I'm doing to mix the cards up in a purposeful manner. It is something I'm doing to shuffle the cards so that all the cards end up in the hand I want. So if we have a game of draw poker and there are 3 opponents, then this first person, they don't have anything in their hand. I think I gave them a pair of 8s and a jack high. So something like that. Yeah, a pair of 8s and a jack high. This person will have absolutely nothing because there's nothing of value there. That's junk. And the straight I was talking about will be, oh no, sorry, that's the straight. Yeah, that's the straight. See, that's the 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that's the trouble with shuffle stacking is if you're off by 1 card, then you give your opponent a good hand. But the next hand up in the rankings that would beat a straight is something called a flush, which is every card in your hand would be the same suit. You know, like every card in your hand's a club, something like that. That would be a flush. So that would actually outrank that one. So, you know, that's, I guess, take that how you want it. Of course, we're not playing deuces wild, so there's no need for me to be able to find a 2 or anything. But if I did have a 2, then maybe I could even make this hand a little bit better. But that's not the point of all this. Finding the flush is fine. That's good to have in your hand. But what's even better, what's better than a flush? Actually, you know what I'm going to try to do? wasn't gonna do this, but just for you guys, I'm going to attempt to actually stack the, oof, that was tough here. I'm gonna attempt to stack all the next hands at the same time. Let's see if I can do this here. Let's give it a shot. That may have just messed me up, but let's see what happens if I do this. And I believe I'm just about ready. This takes a little bit of work at this stage in the game, but I believe I should be at least decently prepared for this now. Oh, gosh, I don't know. I think I need to take a little... Okay, I think I did it. I'm really not sure. Trying to get all of the last ones together here all at the same time, stacked from the shuffle deck so that you can see exactly what we're looking at. This person over here, I gave them a pretty good hand. I gave them a full house, kings over queens. This is going to cause them to bet. You want everybody to be betting at the table. They're definitely going to put all their money down. And so will the person in the middle with their four of a kind. See, 4 sevens and a kicker of an ace. So that's going to be really beneficial. They're going to throw all their money down, and that's going to go perfectly with this straight flush over here. 8, 9, 10, jack, queen. They're going to put all their money down. They know they can't be beat, but I've saved the best for last, giving myself the royal flush, the unbeatable hand in poker.